What's going on, guys? It's Simo. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Tuesday, the series where... Wait, that's not right. What's up, YouTube? This is Harvey 1997 here, coming at you today with an episode of Tech Tuesday. Okay, I was just gonna make the Simo joke at the beginning, then I was like, hey, you know what? It's actually Tuesday when I'm recording this, so why not? Tech Tuesday. So I'm going to be talking today about a side deck card for the current format as well as the June 12th format. Will this be relevant at Worlds? I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But at least for like now up until then, I think this is a really good choice, one that I hadn't thought of yet, and I personally probably won't be able to use in Metal Foes since I only run like 5 spells, and if I have any of them, I'm probably using them. But some other decks, like, that have, like, other ways to get, like, things that run more than, like, 5 spells can really heavily abuse this card. That is Cursed Seal of the Forbidden Spell. So I'm going to read for you guys what it does. It's not this is not the most updated text, so I guess I'm not actually going to read it. I'm just going to tell you what it does. It's a counter trap. So, like, things can't really chain to it except for other counter traps, and no one's running counter traps right now, so it's pretty much always going to resolve. Discard 1 spell from your hand, and then you negate the activation of a spell card and destroy it. It's pretty decent. Oh, but then also your opponent can't activate spells with that name for the rest of the duel. What is that? Now, this has made a lot of resurgences, just like up and down through the years. One of the more notable ones was in Shaddoll format, in that it could negate Shaddoll Fusion, and in Necros format, where it could hit Kaleidoscope, I think was the big one. The one that sends from the extra deck. Or just Mirror in general. That's also good. But yeah, let's just kind of piece together some big things that can hit with this. The big 3 decks in the moment are, and they can be like combined with each other too, I suppose, but Zodiac, True Draco, and True King Dino. True King Dino is unfortunately like not as prevalent as it was, but it's still there. Still something you gotta worry about. And it has the same reason for True Draco, being Dragonic Diagram. Holy crap. This card doesn't just stop it, it kills it in its place. How many times have you has your opponent activated a Dragonic Diagram, and you'd be like, oh, chain Ghost Ogre, or flip up the Twin Twister, or something like that, only for them to play a second copy? That's not a fun time. No one likes that happening to them. But if you negate it with this, they lose access to it for the rest of the duel. Even if they don't have one at their hand at the moment, even if, let's say, they never drew into one, you still stopped it on the spot. And that's more than what most cards can do at this point. Again, like Ghost Ogre can stop it, and then Ghost Ash can temporarily like negate it, but the threat is still there from Ghost Ash. It's Dragonic Diagram's a good card. Both getting the destruction and getting the search are like both nutty. If you can put an end to that, it can slow down or even cripple a player who's trying to run that diagram. Let's just take Zodiacs. Zodiac Barrage, Fire Formation, Tanky. Woo! You stop those, they're not going to be able to get anything out of their deck for a while. I mean, if you just like stop one of them, they might have the other, but that's huge. Because one barrage is not, like, it may appear like a 2-for-1 trade at first, but stopping one barrage is so much more than stopping that one card. It is stopping the summon of the Zodiac. Let's not even acknowledge, let's say their rats are both gone. Let's just say they summon like a Whiptail off of it, or like a Ram or something. Stopping that is huge, because otherwise they'll just like overlay into a Borbo or Hammerkong, then a Broad Bowl, and detach that Borbo or Hammerkong and search like a Whiptail or something, and suddenly it's at least a +1. Oh, and then they're going to probably slap a Dryden on top to get a destruction of something of yours, and then like that barrage gets them a lot of resources basically and takes some away from you. Don't let that happen. Negate it. So good. Some other things that can hit: Cosmic Cyclone, Twin Twisters. Do you ever see anybody siding less than 3 of these if they're playing them in the side? Probably not. This is not really, but I mean, sometimes you do like 2 copies, but if that's the case, they probably got some in the main as well. But most people typically run like 3 copies of their back row destruction, and they tend to be like, I either want Cosmic Cyclone or Twin Twisters. There's not very many people in the meta right now who are saying, I'm going to play a little bit of both, and I'm going to keep both in the main at the same time, even if it's, because most people, like, I'm going to take Simo, for example, in his Pure Zodiac deck profile he uploaded earlier today. He said whenever he has 3 Cosmic Cyclones in the main, 2 Twin Twisters in the side, and when he puts the Twin Twisters in, he sides out the 2 Cyclones, and then takes out the 3rd Cyclone for something else. Just, it's things like that. You don't typically see different ways of back row destruction in the same format. Some other things, you want to go a little bit past, like some rogue decks, or I guess rogue decks after the list, but at the moment, grass looks greener. You can stop that, and then they'll never be able to see another one. Like, in a 60 card deck, they're usually not going to be able to resolve it twice anyway. But it's huge. Why, like, if you'll notice, the way a lot of grass decks are playing at the moment, are they pretty much have to do all their, like, searching and stuff first, and then play grass, thus to, like, bait out the ash before activating grass, because grass just is devastating when it resolves, right? Even if you get 5 less cards than what you would have before doing your combo, you got to try and get rid of an ash threat first. Some other things you can hit. Let's just say if you want to take like Invoked, for example, if you think you're going to see any of that, you can stop Invocation. That's pretty insane, considering they'll never be able to do that for the rest of the duel. If you play any kind of like Fright Fur deck, you negate Polymerization. Sure, they're going to have their Fright Fur fusion, but let me tell you, as a former Fluffle Fright Fur player myself, there's nothing worse than being like when you can't fuse from your board and like your hand, anything like that. Your only option is to banish stuff. You run out of resources quick, and you can't recycle Fright Fur fusions either, aside from the continuous spell that gets it when it's destroyed. So if you were to take my Fright Fur Fluffle list, I would have had 2 Fright Fur fusion in the main. Some people actually only run 1. I think 2 is the correct number. And then there's the 1 spell card, the Fright Fur Factory. Let's just say you can even get all 3 out. That's only 3 fusion summons in the entire duel. And there's pretty much a guarantee that you won't be able to make Sabertooth and bring back a Fright Fur, because you would have had to banish that Fright Fur to summon the Sabertooth. It's bad. There's just like a bunch of good things you can hit. Now let's also move on to, I believe it's around June 23rd when this releases. That being the Pendulum Evolution. Is that right? Yeah, Pendulum Evolution Booster Pack. Not Structure Deck. But when that comes out, you can negate their Sky Iris, or the Pendulum Graph of Ages, I think is what it's called. Their continuous spell. And Pendulum Call. Negating any one of those 3 can be crippling to a Pendulum Magician player, or an Odd Eyes, or whatever they may be. Because all 3 of those need to be working in very strong tandem for that deck to be able to be quite as wombo combo-y. Sure, they can still do other things, but not anywhere near as strong if you can lock them out of any of those 3 cards. Again, just getting the 1 initial negation is really good, but being able to negate past that is even better. Especially so when it's something like Twin Twisters or Pendulum Call, where there's a discard cost. That's insane, because then it's not a 2 for 1, it's a 2 for 2 trade, and you're just, so good, so good. I just think the card is really good right now in decks that have some extra spells. Probably, like, I think True Draco can abuse this very well. I think things like, Like Zodiac, if they play a few extra spells in the deck, can probably make pretty good use of this. I mean, at the least, they got 3 Barrage, 3 Tenki. But let's just say you're playing Zodiac True Draco. You're gonna have 3 of those, and 3 Terraformings, 3 Dragonic Diagrams, 12 spells right there. You're probably gonna have something you can discard. If you get this, you can slow down your plays just a tad to get that discard off. Trust me. It's just ridiculous how good this can be in the right time. So, you guys tell me in the comment section below what you think of Cursed Seal of the Forbidden Spell in this format and next format. Think it's good, bad, maybe a decent side in against a rogue deck, I don't know. Hey, another one I just thought of that I didn't think of before, and that can negate Pot of Desires and Card of Demise if those are ever problems for you, like your locals or something. So, yeah. Okay, well, you guys tell me in the comment section below what you think about this card. As always, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for all my future content, and I'll catch you in my next video.